Today, I want to talk about the differences between hearing and listening. What I realize about us as a people is that a lot of us hear, but we don't listen. One way I see this happen is based on preconceived notions, experiences, things that we've been programmed to like and not like. But a lot of us do hear, but not listen. An example is if there's a group of people sitting outside, and a car pulls up playing very loud music, and that car is in perfect proximity to the group of people where they're in clear earshot of everybody hears the music. And that guy sits there for, let's say, like a minute, enough for you to determine if you listened, what music he was playing, etc. And then the guy pulls off. And the group is sitting there, resuming back conversation. And somebody comes outside and says, "Hey," to the group. "Y'all heard that guy playing that music? Y'all heard that music that was playing from that car?" You might get answers and responses like, "Yeah," because everybody was in close proximity, right? And then the follow-up question would be, "What kind of music was he playing?" And then somebody might be like, "Oh, I wasn't paying attention," right? That's one response. Another response you might hear is, "It sounded like hip hop, but I ain't really pay attention. I wasn't listening. I wasn't paying attention to it." And then you might get somebody that says, "Yeah, he was playing Biggie, Big Papa." They might even sing the lyrics like, "I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air, yeah, that was my joint, you know." And the example is just to show you the difference between hearing something and actually listening, right? Now, to be fair, those other people might not listen to Biggie or have an affinity to hip hop, so they wouldn't listen. But that's also a part of the point. Like, people have these preconceived notions or have been programmed to only listen, to hear, but not listen. A lot of us, including myself, only listen to what we like or what we attribute to something that we are interested in. If we're not interested in, then we don't listen. And I just realized that we as a people, we rarely listen. We definitely hear, but we rarely listen. Another example is, I've seen this is in my own life. It's like if you were younger and your mom would say something like, go in the kitchen on the counter and grab me a water, a Poland Spring water, right? But you as a kid, you would only hear, "Oh, go in the kitchen and grab a water," right? And you go in the kitchen and you go to the counter and it's Fiji water, it's coconut water, it's and it's Poland Spring water. But now you didn't know, you just heard water. You don't know which one to grab, so you probably grabbed the wrong one. Now you got to guess, or now you got to go back and ask again. And that's just not, that's not going to be productive for you, brother, because, she's going to get upset because that's when you realize you weren't listening. You know what I'm saying? And I have a lot of those moments throughout my life where I realize, oh, snap, I wasn't listening. It happens in relationships. It happens in the word. All praises to the Most High. This is coming from knowledge of reading the word and realizing that, we don't listen. The Most High called his people stiff-necked. You know what I'm saying? So we are definitely stubborn and we don't listen. I just realized life in general would be very simpler. It would be simple. Things would be way simpler for us if we just listened. You know what I mean? Before we decide to make a judgment, or before we decide to make a decision, and not let the preconceived things get in the way. Especially listen to the Most High. That's another topic. But in general, to try to practice to hear and listen instead of just hearing and not listening. Hope this helps somebody. All praises to the Most High.